In Raid Shadow Legends, we're all programmed to hunt for those shiny, gold-bordered legendary champions, right? But what if I told you that one of the most game-changing heroes, one that's essential for the ultra endgame, is a rare? Yeah, let's get into it. Meet Reliquary Tender. This is the champion that so many top-tier players absolutely depend on to beat the game's toughest bosses. She might not have that flashy legendary aura, but trust me, her power is the real deal. And I'm not just hyping her up, seriously. If you stick with me, I'm going to show you exactly how this high elf becomes the secret key to a strategy that completely dismantles one of the most frustrating bosses in the entire game. Right, so before we dive into all the stats and strategies, who is Reliquary Tender? What's her deal? You know, her name isn't just some cool fantasy title they came up with. It actually tells you everything you need to know. A reliquary is a place for sacred items, and a tender is a caretaker, so she's literally the guardian of holy artifacts. And her official story totally backs this up. She's not just some security guard, she's a powerful mage with deep knowledge. She's trusted with relics that can heal, buff, and even bring people back from the dead. And that's not just flowery writing, it's a perfect preview of her skill set. I love how her design shows that mix of grace and grit. Looking at her from the front, you get that classic high elf vibe, the rich blues, the gold trim, but then you see her from the back, and it's all business. Practical armor and her hair tied back, ready for a fight. It's just a really smart, well-thought-out design. Okay, so lore is cool, design is awesome, but let's get to the good stuff. How does all of that translate into what she can actually do in a battle? Because this is where things get really surprising. All right, let's break this down. Her basic attack, the Warden Staff, it's fine. A decent chance to put a decrease attack debuff on an enemy. Her Revive, Call to Life, also solid, gets an ally back in the fight. But look at that middle skill, Tender's Watch. This is her superpower, a full team cleanse, wiping every single debuff off of your entire team. And once you book it out, it's on a 3-turn cooldown. That is just insane for a rare champion. So here's why that is such a massive deal. When you're up against bosses that just spam you with poisons, like the Nether Spider, or those horrible unique debuffs from the Phantom Shogun, her cleanse isn't just nice to have, it's pretty much a requirement. She is the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card. Okay, so her kit is amazing. You're probably thinking, how do I build her? What gear do I need? Let's get into it. For anyone just starting out, or even in the mid-game, the advice is simple and clear. Forget about fancy set bonuses. Just focus on stats. Number one priority is speed. Get it as high as you possibly can. After that, you just stack HP and defense. The goal is simple. Make her fast enough to get her cleanse off when you need it, and tough enough to be the last one standing to revive your team if things go south. That's it. And really, this one player from the community just nailed it. In a game that's all about debuffs, having a super fast and reliable cleanser is priceless, whether you're on day 1 or day 1000. And now, the main event. Let's talk about the one place where Reliquary Tender goes from being a really good, rare champion to an absolute, irreplaceable legend, the Phantom Shogun's Grove. Oh man, if you've reached this part of the game, you know the pain. You hit this boss, and it just feels like you've run into a brick wall. Your teams just get completely wiped out. So what gives? The way to beat him isn't about more damage. It's about pure precision. The strategy is called a speed tune, where every single champion on your team has to move in a perfect, repeating order, like the gears in a Swiss watch. And Reliquary Tender, she's not just some random gear in that watch. She's the mainspring that makes the entire thing tick. To make this whole clockwork strategy work, Reliquary Tender needs to have this exact speed. Not 283, not 285, 284. This one number is the entire key to unlocking this fight. So here's how the dance goes. First, your tank, Gnarlhorn, provokes the boss and takes the big hit. Right after, Paragon slaps an unkillable buff on him so he survives. The boss then debuffs your whole team, and that's when she comes in. At exactly 284 speed, Reliquary Tender goes next, cleanses everything off, and boom, your 2 damage dealers are free to nuke the boss. It's beautiful when it works. Okay, now listen up, because this is super important, and it's where so many people go wrong. Because this strategy is so precise, anything at all that might randomly boost someone's turn meter, their little blue bar, will throw the whole sequence off. That means no masteries like Rapid Response, no blessings like Survival Instinct. One random boost and the entire clockwork mechanism shatters. The run fails.
So when you take a step back and look at the big picture, what does this all mean? How does she really stack up against other big-name support champions? Let's put her head-to-head. You've got Apothecary, who's famous for his speed boosts and heals, but he can't cleanse or revive. You've got Doom Priest, whose passive cleanse is amazing, but it can only remove one debuff at a time. Reliquary Tender is the one who can come in and say, nope, we're getting rid of all of that right now for the whole team, and she can bring someone back to life. Her toolkit is just totally unique. This really is the best way to describe her. She's a sleeper powerhouse. You pull her early, she carries you. She becomes a star in your High Elf Faction Wars team, and just when you think you might outgrow her, she becomes the non-negotiable key to one of the hardest dungeons in the game. Her value just never, ever goes away.
And that kind of leaves you with one big question, right? If a simple, rare champion can be this vital, this powerful, it makes you wonder what other hidden gems are just sitting in your champion vault right now, waiting to be discovered.